There is a little technique we can use, and what we often do is we take out our finger, take out the gun, the finger gun, and finger point. And sometimes we don't finger point actually with our physical hand, but we do that with our language. Doing that with our language means that you use the word you. And this is what we do very constantly. Actually, you did that, but you always don't change the paper in the copy machine. You always talk very loud on the phone, and you come in late. We are kind of finger pointing in a verbal manner, and this, I don't know whether you have an example for yourself, but if somebody comes up to you and tells you, for instance, you always treat me unfairly and you do not let me finish my sentences in the meeting, overall you just make me feel insecure. What is your emotion? Is there something happening inside of you? Would you be very, well, open to talk with that person right now, to discuss in a calm way? Or would that make you feel being driven into a corner, feel a bit defensive because you've been blamed to have done something that you didn't, because you didn't interrupt him, and you would never do that on purpose to make a person feel insecure. How does this person sees you, that this person thinks that you would make them insecure on purpose? And so you actually start having different thoughts on your mind, but you're not really listening to the message this person is giving you. And this is where this technique, like a little small technique, kicks in, and it's called the I message. An I message, as seen in the slide, of course, it's because it's a more self-reflective I you use. So using the example before, so the you treat me unfairly, you interrupt me, make me feel insecure. You don't know why this person is doing that, whether this person is aware of it. You don't know whether there's any purpose, whether it's just the personality. The only thing you know is that what happens within yourself, what you see, like the situation you see. So you try to describe the situation you would like to address, that's annoying you, that's making you sad, or whatever. So address the situation. And then point out what it does to you, because that's your truth. This is what really is truth. You don't know whether this person really wants to make you insecure. So for instance, you could say, I noticed that I'd repeatedly been interrupted. I'm now really uncertain whether you might be interested in what I have to say, or what I have to contribute to the topic. The likelihood that somebody would listen to that, because you don't attack him, you don't blame him in that sentence, you explain the situation. Well, I noticed that I've been interrupted, not you interrupted me, that I've been interrupted, and this is what it does to me. The likelihood that the other person will listen to you till the end of the sentence and not start creating his own defense is much higher than in the you version. The likelihood that you will maybe even get more reflective answer, like, oh, I didn't realize, I didn't do that on purpose, Or maybe you get an honest answer like, yes, you know, you just, I don't know, I have the feeling you don't come to the point, if he's learned the method as well. Otherwise he might say, because you don't come to the point. But it's something you can learn. It's a kind of feedback. You can get something out of it. Talking about feedback, this method, the same method, can be applied in a little bit different version as an easy pattern, like guideline, for a feedback you can give, and especially you can prepare beforehand, because a feedback is a very nice tool. It's a very nice communication tool, but it's not always welcome, and it depends a little bit on yourself whether you can handle feedback as such as it is, because a feedback, actually, it doesn't matter whether it's positive or negative, it can help you to improve. Whatever the person says, if you get the core message, you can always have a look at the core message. Like, is it true? Maybe you can discuss it with somebody else if you're not sure whether it's true. Or maybe you say, no, this is really not true. But anyway, you get some information. And if it's something you didn't know, or you would like to have a look at it, you can take that and improve yourself. You can take that, discuss it with somebody else to improve yourself, to develop yourself, because the self-development is never over. So coming back to this iMessage feedback techniques, there's 4 little steps. 2 I've mentioned already. Especially focus on the situation. Try to find the exact situation that annoys you, that you'd like to address. The more detailed, with more examples you can describe the situation, the better the other person will be able to understand it and relate to it. If you use, for instance, whenever you are in the office, you do, that won't help him that much. But if you say, when you're coming back from lunch, like about 15 minutes later, you stand with your coffee at my neighbor colleague's desk, and you check with him, and this is for me, I can't concentrate, whatever. Take the situation as specific as possible, and then take this special behavior, not the personality. Try to distinguish the behavior. He stands there drinking his coffee. It has nothing to do whether he's like a chatty person, or whether he's stupid, or whether he's intelligent, or no, it's just this kind of behavior you would like to address without any judgment on this. And then describe it from your perspective. Use the iMessage. I've experienced, I've seen, I get the impression. Second, describe the impact on you, because it's only you who knows what it does to you. If you expect someone to be telepathic, and if you think, well, this is annoying me, or this is making me sad, it won't transmit to the other person. And with your partner, by the way, it won't transmit to your partner. Maybe you've experienced that as well. You have to talk, otherwise it's not gonna work. So describe the impact on you, because that makes the other person aware of what happens to you. And like an impact could be taking the coffee chat situation, kind of annoying, because I can't concentrate. It makes it really hard for me to concentrate. Again, focus, dig deeper. And if you do that on a more regular basis, Your environment, your work environment, usually there's the same people around. They get to know you better. They can understand better what happens when they do certain things. So it makes them more aware, and it makes more transparent what's good for you as well. And if they start doing it as well, and if you ask them to do that, it will improve the atmosphere and the work atmosphere. So in the work atmosphere, and there's like often a little difference between men and women. Quite often there's quite a blockage about talking about feelings. Like feelings belong to the private world and not to the work environment. The work environment is professional. But be honest. Have you never been excited, annoyed, bored? These are feelings at work as well. So you can't switch off your feelings. And I'm not asking you to talk about, yes, and this is what I feel right now, and this is what comes. No, of course not. You take it on the professional basis. But still, try to open up as much as it's possible within your personality. Of course, if you're an extrovert, if you're an introvert, there's a difference. But try to open up a bit, because again, this will help others to understand better why you're giving this kind of feedback, why things are distracting you, because they're not distracting the others. Like the guy next door doesn't say anything about a coffee beside his table. Try to bring that in. And then the fourth, and it's a very important part. Again, do that as well with your partner. Do that in your private life. Tell them how you would like it to be. Because if you just kind of complain about something, if you kind of raise a fact or raise, even if you do, like the situation, the impact in you, and bring your feelings in, they sometimes don't know what to do because they don't understand you. They are different. They do have a different personality. They have a different view upon things. So it will definitely help them if you express explicitly your expectations and wishes. It would mean I would really appreciate if you could follow up with a chat in the cafeteria. I mean, there's the free coffee around the corner, or if you could limit it to 5 minutes, I don't mind. After lunch, I'm still coming back and still settling and putting my jacket away and so on and so forth. But after like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I would like to carry on with my work. Try to check yourself before you give the feedback. What would make it better for you? How you would like the situation to be, and address it. Because only if you communicate in a polite, clear, and obvious way, addressing this way as well your wishes and your expectations, you have a very, very good chance that in a higher percentage you will get what you wish for. And you will see that it even increases the trust, it increases the transparency for those who couldn't put you into a place, maybe they didn't really understand you well and you had some more misunderstandings going around and going on. Maybe even these will, even with this little technique, get a bit better while trying on this technique. So long, I wish you a lot of fun trying and experimenting with these little methods of the iMessage and the feedback with the iMessage. And I promise you, you will see a difference if you experiment a bit and look into the other's eyes and look into the other's face to find out what they're thinking and whether they're reacting differently than they did before. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any further questions, you can always contact me either on my email address, on my webpage, and hope to see you again. Thank you very much. Goodbye.